Thank you.
All right, we will begin our meeting this morning with pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everybody. We have a quorum. Commissioner Dawson's on the phone, and we're waiting for Lieutenant Governor Robinson, but we'll go ahead and proceed with the Ethics Awareness and Conflict of Interest Reminder. In accordance with the State Government Ethics Act, it's the duty of every council member to avoid both conflicts of interest and the appearances of conflict. If any council member has any known conflict of interest or is aware of facts that might create the appearance of such a conflict with respect to any matter coming before the council today, please identify the conflict or the facts that might create the appearance of a conflict to ensure that any inappropriate participation in that matter may be avoided. If at any time any new matter raises a conflict during the meeting, please be sure to identify it at that time. We will go ahead and begin the meeting today. You have received the minutes of the April 2nd, 2024 meeting. I hope you've had a chance to review that. I will entertain a motion for approval. Mr. Causey moves to approve. Secretary of State seconds the motion. Is there further discussion or debate on the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The ayes have it. The minutes of the April 2nd meeting are approved. Interest matters. Treasurer Falwell.
Thank you, Governor. For April, the interest matter report is 4.35% of those the interest matters.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that report. Fire insurance matters. Commissioner Causey.
Thank you, Governor. On page 1, on the state property fire insurance fund, that's cumulative from July 1st, 2023 through as of April 30th. We had $20 million from legislative funding plus the premium, so we had $47 million come in. We paid out $19.5 million, so we had a balance of $33.4 million. And flip over to page 2, we have just one loss, but it's still related to Hurricane Florence, and this is a $10.5 million, well, a little over $10 million claim. And I would point out this is still related to the September 14th Hurricane Florence, where this is UNC Wilmington. The total approved losses for that damage exceeded $123 million, and as of today, we've paid out $67.5 million. So we still have a ways to go. And I move we pay this $10 million claim.
Motion has been made. Do we have a second? Second by Attorney General Stein. Is there discussion or debate on the motion?
Governor, I just have one question. The rest of this loss, is this primarily reinsurance that will take care of?
A big part of it is reinsurance, and I think they're paying it as they rebuild or do whatever they're doing with the fix stuff.
Further discussion or debate? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion passes. Thank you very much, Commissioner Causey. We'll now have Board of Transportation right-of-way matters. Heather Fulton.
Thank you, Governor. Good morning, Council. Department of Transportation has 3 items for your consideration today. All the items have been approved by the Secretary and the Board of Transportation, and I'm glad to answer any questions you may have.
Are there questions of Ms. Fulton? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Troxler moves approval. Alderman Holmes seconds the motion. Is there further discussion or debate? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion carries. Thank you, Ms. Fulton.
Thank you.
We now have state property matters. Tim Wolf.
Morning, Governor, members of the council. 31 items for your consideration this morning and 1 item for information.
Are there questions for Mr. Walton? One thing for a lot of our interns who are here for the first week, these are state property transactions that require approval of this council of state, which is in our state constitution. This information has been sent to us, our staffs. They've reviewed it all. So oftentimes there's some discussion, sometimes that there isn't, but everybody has looked through this carefully. So I just wanted you to know that. Do I have a motion for approval? Treasurer Falwell moves to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Troxler. Is there further discussion or debate? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. The ayes have it. Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Walt.
Thank you, Governor.
Gaston College matters. Jennifer.
Good morning, Governor, members of the council. For this item, I would like to modify the grantor. We erroneously put just the Gaston College Foundation because that's what we refer to it on a working basis, but the formal title is the Gaston College Foundation, Inc., and this is a transfer of property from the foundation to the college, and we would ask for approval.
Are there questions for Mr. Booker, Dr. Booker? All right, do I have a motion? Secretary of State moves to approve this motion with the amendment of adding Inc. after Gaston College Foundation. Is there a second? Second by the Attorney General. Is there further discussion or debate? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. The ayes have it. Motion carries.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. All right, we'll now go to our roundtable. Our business included. I'll begin with Secretary of State.
Good morning, Governor. Since we did not meet last month, let me update you on our busy time, which is now a little bit behind us. Annual reports, renewals for corporations and LLCs occur and are due along with mid-April with taxes. This year, we set a record for the number of annual reports processed. It was 572,211. That's an increase of more than 2,000 from 2023. And to provide you some additional context, annual reports have increased 55% over the past 5 years. In 2019, it was 340,700. But these new annual reports from newly created businesses that you've been hearing about from me over the past few years have staying power. That's what an annual report shows. As far as new businesses are concerned, we're keeping pace with what we're considering the new normal. It hasn't dropped off very much. We anticipate between 170 and 175,000 new business creations by the end of this year. To put that in day-by-day context, that is between 650 and 700 new business creations every day we're open. In April, I reported to you that North Carolina had renewed a 5-year agreement with our longstanding partnership in Moldova. Toward the end of April, it was my distinct honor to join Adjutant General Todd Hunt with the North Carolina National Guard as he and Moldova were recognized by the United States National Guard as the 2023 State Partnership of the Year at their partnership's annual conference. I could not have been prouder to be there and stand with all those guys in camo, have a picture made as they received the award. It was just an awesome event. Every strong partnership has to have a solid and sturdy foundation. And that starts with the work and commitment of the North Carolina National Guard and the military of the Republic of Moldova. Unequivocally, our civilian-to-civilian partnership with the people of Moldova, which is a supplement to the military-to-military partnership, would not be possible without the strong foundation of mutual support. Let me add, we do this without a budget. In 2023, there was, for our Guard, a 100% increase in engagements from the previous year, including defense reform and peacekeeping engagements. Our North Carolina-Moldova partnership has never been more important than it is today at this perilous moment in history, when democracy is being tested on the world stage due to Russia's aggressive invasion of Ukraine. Just last week, it made national news, international news, as United States Secretary of State Blinken was there And some of his comments, as he was standing alongside the president of Moldova, made international news regarding the offensive that the Ukrainians can pursue, kind of an expansion of their opportunities. So congratulations to the North Carolina National Guard and to you for your service to North Carolina and this great nation. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Commissioner Troxel.
Governor, my chief of staff, Zane Hitchcock, also traveled with the National Guard to South Africa, and he may be open for a Purple Heart. He came back with a tick bite and a pretty serious infection, so he's about over that, but it was a wonderful trip, and I think North Carolina should stand proud for what we did. Also, we just finished a very successful, got the BNC Festival, and that kind of signals that the season for fresh produce is here. So I hope people take advantage of the farmers markets and roadside stands and pick your own operations. About anything that you want, we grow here in North Carolina except tropical fruits and vegetables. So the strawberries have been here, the blueberries are here, and now everything else will be fresh, so take advantage of it. Also, I have 5 interns here today that I would like to introduce. First, Destiny Wilson, Mackenzie Hudson, Lucas Bowman, Justin Senner, and Maggie Rand. We are very big on the interns in the Department of Ag, and in fact, I think scattered across the state, we have more than 20 this year. And the good news is some of these interns that we've had in the past have become permanent employees with the Department of Ag, and it's always good to see this young talent take the time to learn about the department and the things that we do. So I'm proud of them and thank them for being here today, and hopefully they will be permanent employees in the future.
Thank you, sir. Treasurer Falwell.
Thank you, Governor. Lots to discuss, and I'll try to make it quick. And just as people are thinking about fresh produce, think about all the cultural resources that are available to them throughout North Carolina. Cindy and I went to Fort Dobbs this weekend, which was the western port for North Carolina back in the day. Got a great tour there, and the Carolina Field of Honor, which is here, Commissioner Troxler's house, just celebrated its 10th anniversary, and there's a lot of work that went on with state, local government, legislators to make this jump up on the table, so honor them. As far as the Treasurer's Office is concerned, we just put out a report on a program called 340B program, which has been in existence for decades. This program was established by the federal government as a way for hospitals to buy prescription drugs cheaper and offer them to people with low income cheaper. All of these reports that we have at the Treasurer's Office have either been peer reviewed by Brown University, Duke University, Johns Hopkins University, University of Southern California, Rice University, and other groups. And what this report showed specifically for cancer drugs is that hospitals in North Carolina are making tens, if not hundreds of millions of dollars on the 340B program. That was not the original intent. In Atrium's case at High Point Memorial, for example, they buy a cancer drug for about $500 a vial, and they sell it to the state health plan for $6,000 a vial. And I say this because all of the folks who are represented here today are employers of people and who are on the state health plan. It's sad that this is like an onion. The more we peel it, the more we cry about what's happening with the gouging of people across North Carolina, not just with hospital costs, medical debt collection processes, and now the 340B program. So just drawing your attention to that, Governor, because as big a purchaser as we are of prescription drugs, you're a bigger purchaser and responsible for DHHS. So, however, this is afflicting the state health plan. I'm sure it's also afflicting the cost of prescription drugs, especially cancer drugs, at DHHS. It leads me to say that the state health plan is going to need some emergency funding. We spent over $500 million on COVID-related activities, doctor visits, hospital visits, vaccines, all kinds of things related to COVID. The state of North Carolina received billions and billions of dollars from the federal government for COVID-related activities, and we have not been reimbursed for that. And I don't know of anything more COVID-related as an activity than paying for doctors, hospitals, and those kinds of things in the state of North Carolina. We've only received about half of our expenditure, which is going to necessitate the state board of trustees having to make some very tough decisions about employer premiums. We cannot continue to see prescription drug costs going up 10% a year, healthcare costs going up 8% a year, and us being funded at 4% a year. In addition to that, we've had the benefit of the last 3 or 4 years of fantastic negotiation for our retirees on Medicare Advantage. That negotiation resulted in 0 premium for the member, $4 a month for the dependent, no cost to the taxpayers. That's going away. So we're going to face with millions and millions and tens of millions of dollars of hit regarding our Medicare Advantage program. So higher healthcare costs, higher drug costs, higher Medicare Advantage costs, being gouged in our 340B program are all the reasons that I'm going to be asking for emergency funding, because this is either going to be paid for or it's going to be financed on the backs of those that teach, protect, and otherwise serve. And my job as a fiduciary is not to let anyone or anything get between those that teach, protect, and otherwise serve. That's my job. Lastly, we're sitting here between Memorial Day and D-Day and Mother's Day and Father's Day. Just before Mother's Day this year, there was a murderous ambush of 4 law enforcement officers in Charlotte, North Carolina. And sometimes in the grief process, it is said that unknown is unloved. So if you don't know these people, maybe it doesn't touch you the way that it should. So I brought one picture of one of our state employees who lost his life in the line of duty that day, so that you can never say you don't know what Alden looks like, because that is his picture. I say that because I want to applaud Commissioner Ishii and the SHIELD team, which we have partnered with over the, especially in the last few years, to make sure that when these tragedies happen, that there's a financial, mathematical part, mechanical part to all these, that we're able to get the benefits to those that deserve them, who are trying to go home with their lives. I was pleasantly surprised, through the coroner's office or the lab, that we were able to get the death certificates as quickly as we could this time. I can't pay a benefit without a death certificate, because that's how the process works. So I applaud all those that made that stand up on the table. I say that because I will close my remarks, Governor, by saying that for these families and these teams and these communities, nothing is ever going to be the same. No holiday, no graduation, no smell, no song, no taste, all the senses. Nothing's ever going to be the same for these families. And I hope that we will keep them in our thoughts and prayers. Josh Iyer, Charlotte Police, Alden Elliott, worked for Department of Corrections, SWAT team, Sam Pelosi, and Thomas Weeks, who was a federal marshal. And I'll leave with a poem. I'm not known for poems, and this one's not mine. But this was written by the 12-year-old son of Alden Elliott. My daddy's a hero. He died getting the bad guys. That's what he was good at. He's a Marine. He's a police officer. He is kind and patient. He keeps my mom and I safe. He's my daddy, the best daddy. We love playing video games together. He really likes Mario, Zelda, and Metroid Return of Samus. We collect Pokemon cards. I have a Charizard that he helped me get graded. He and I have watched every Star Wars movie and series. My daddy loves playing and watching baseball. His favorite team is the Dodgers. He's an expert marksman. Perfect score every time. For my 12th birthday, he bought me a dirt bike. He bought himself one too, so that we could ride together. I will learn how to ride it, and we'll ride it together one day, Daddy. He was the best man I'll ever know, and I hope to be just like him. Theo Elliott, surviving child of Alden Elliott. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, sir. We need to remember those families and our brave law enforcement officers every day. Commissioner Call.
Thank you, Governor. You may have heard some of the ads running from the National Insurance Crime Bureau on staged traffic accidents and contractor fraud, roofing contractor fraud. I just want to bring to everybody's attention, we've seen a spike in insurance fraud since COVID. It's been a pretty dramatic spike. And I want to thank the Attorney General for his efforts in fighting fraud and the Secretary Marshall and going after some of these fake labels. But one of the biggest frauds we see is on the internet targeting seniors. And you have some pretty clever and crafty people out there that are convincing our seniors to take money out of annuities or out of savings accounts and put them into other types of annuities or savings accounts that are promising high returns, but they're pretty shoddy products and they're scams. And many times when these seniors find out that they've become a victim of scam, they don't want to report it. They don't want their family to know because they're too embarrassed to tell about it. So we're finding these out after that person dies and their family finds out about it. So, we're doing everything we can to tell people, if you don't solicit, if somebody calls you, we've had scams, especially in the Piedmont area of North Carolina recently. People going door to door, posing as Department of Insurance employees, and we don't sell insurance, but they're trying to sell a policy, and the policy is a fake policy. It's no good. So it runs the gamut. We have there's a lot of online medical scams, and we have people in other state, medical doctors in other states that are writing prescriptions for North Carolina residents and sending it to their partners in crime that are pharmacists in North Carolina that we have some great pharmacists, but these are the unscrupulous ones that are partnering with these folks. And on this durable medical equipment, and the patient doesn't even know about it. And most people don't bother to look at their explanation of benefits, but most of these things are on the explanation of benefits. We had one medical doctor tell us he just happened, out of the hundreds and thousands of patients that he has, he just happened to look at one EOB statement to find out one of his patients had been prescribed some diabetic prescriptions and diabetic therapies, and the patient wasn't even a diabetic. You've got people out there staging accidents every day. We had one person here in North Carolina, people are taking pictures off the internet of a wrecked vehicle. and companies are wanting to settle claims a little faster. So this one woman submitted the same picture to more than 20 insurance companies. Only 2 of those companies found anything suspicious and reported it to us. It's what got our investigators looking into it. But we're all paying for this fraud. I don't have time to go over it. The homeowners, the roofing contractor scams, people are creating fake claims. But the problem for us is we're all paying for it. And according to the Coalition Against Insurance Fraud, and this is a conservative estimate, that Americans are paying over $300 billion a year just to cover the cost of what we know about. So for every dollar we spend on any type of insurance, about 20 cents is going for the fraud. And what Treasurer Falwell said about the cost going up, fraud is a big part of that. So I just encourage people, if you suspect fraud, report it. We have a toll-free number, 888-680-7684. You can report it anonymously, just like Crime Stoppers. And in closing, I want to thank our interns. We have 8 interns at the Department of Insurance, and we left 7 to work and brought 1 to represent the other interns. So Rebecca Brett, East Carolina University, is interning with our communications department. So thank all the interns because they are a good source of future employees. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Attorney General Stein.
Having been an intern at the Department of Justice and now an employee of the Department of Justice, I can affirm that interns can be a good source of future employees. Governor, thank you so much. We rolled out a couple weeks ago a public safety package for the General Assembly's consideration, focusing on 3 major topics. One has to do with the rape kits. As you all may know, a month and a half ago, we announced that finally we've eliminated the backlog of untested rape kits in the state. In so doing, there have been 2,000 profiles uploaded to the database, which actually hit to a person in North Carolina. Law enforcement has made over 100 arrests so far, and more to come, but we've sought a cold case unit to help expedite the investigation of these old cases because we have an incredibly hot lead in what was once a very cold case and 1,900 other cases. We've asked for a special prosecutions unit, for a fentanyl control unit within our special prosecutions section to help local DAs bring the time-consuming and very complex cases having to do with drug trafficking and fentanyl, which remains a deadly drug. It's the deadliest drug epidemic America has ever experienced. In North Carolina, on average, we're going to lose 12 lives today to an overdose. And that means we lost 12 yesterday, and we're going to lose 12 more tomorrow. And 9 of those people have a synthetic opioid like fentanyl in their system. So we want to raise the cost of doing business for these drug traffickers who are making millions peddling poisons in our community. And a special prosecutions unit of fentanyl prosecutors can do that trick. And then the third thing that we're seeking is to address Treasurer Falwell's concern about law enforcement is we need to have more law enforcement in that there are widespread vacancies in law enforcement agencies across North Carolina. When you talk to chiefs, when you talk to sheriffs, they're really struggling to fill the vacancies. And there is a recruitment and retention package that has been developed in consultation with state law enforcement, including Department of Public Safety, Governor, and then the chiefs of police and the sheriffs in our office that can help local law enforcement address some of these gaps. And we're calling on the legislature to fund all 3 of those efforts in the upcoming budget negotiations. Thank you, Governor.
Thank you, sir. Commissioner Dobson.
Thank you, Governor. Nothing to add today. Thank you, Governor.
Okay, thank you. Auditor Holmes.
Good morning, Governor, members of the Council of State. Since our last meeting, I had the opportunity to join state auditors across the country in Boise, Idaho. to listen, to learn, to bring back best practices to North Carolina. One issue that we all had in common was regarding the retention and recruitment of auditors. And one issue that we all found in common was that pay was one of the determining factors in terms of recruiting and retention and our inability to compete with the private market. Also, we have been busy over at OSA identifying fraud, waste, and abuse, and also addressing the lack of inadequate internal protocols within our financial audit. The most recent audit that we released to the public was regarding Fayetteville State University, where we identified almost $700,000 in fraud, waste, and abuse. Also, that would be our most egregious, most recent audit, but also the most interesting one, I would say, would be regarding the town of Fremont. As it relates to financial audits, we found inadequate internal protocols at Roanoke Tuan Community College, Durham Tech Community College, as well as North Carolina Central University. We are working closely with all of these entities to get them up to speed and make sure that the issues that we've identified are going to be addressed. And the last thing that I will note is that this month is also Juneteenth, and also known as Freedom Day. It's the oldest known commemoration of the abolition of slavery. And Governor Cooper, I wanted to thank you for always recognizing that date with a proclamation as well as your personal observance leave. And I'll also close by stating that one of the ways that we're able to do what we're able to do is through our tip line. I'm not sure if I compare it to Crime Stoppers, but we do have a tip line, and that is what helped us conduct or lead us to conduct an investigative audit, which recently resulted in identifying about $700,000 in funds that should have been going towards our students.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll turn to Budget Director Walker. Do you have any comments for the council today?
Good morning, Governor and Council of State members. We also have interns at the Office of State Budget and Management. So if I could, I'll introduce the four of them that we have here. Zarin Chen, Zavia Dickerson, Kelly Hopkins, and Devin Rousen. Thank them very much, and that's it from the State Budget today.
I know we have several too, so we're on a roll.
I'm Eric Fletcher. I'm General Counsel to Governor Cooper. We have three of our legal interns who are here today. Caleb, James, and Tamara, I see it in the back there. So all law students here in North Carolina who are working with us in the Office of the Governor this summer.
Thanks everybody for your attention today. Let's adjourn this meeting in memory and honor of the four officers who lost their lives protecting our community. All in favor say aye. Aye. No? The ayes have it. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
If the interns would like to come up and have your picture with the governor, we will make that happen today.